It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, getting another look at Jalen Royals. We're going to watch them catch some balls, work through some drills and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at practice, rookie camp, OTAs, minicamp, soon to be training camp, workouts in between, whatever we can find, it will be here. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Jalen Royals today. Chiefs had some practices this week. We got a couple clips added to what we already got, so we're going to cover all of it because might as well, just in case some of you guys haven't seen the channel before. So we'll loop this and keep talking ball, but here he is. There he is. One thing you can see or tell from him, very stout wide receiver. Feet solid, remember right there, you see it right there, turf's beat up, some of that. Getting it. Jalen Royals in there somewhere. He's going to pop out somewhere. Jalen Royals in there somewhere. There he is. He's sitting there in line. He's going to come up in about 2 players maybe. Boom. But you can see everybody else. There he is. Worthy. There's Juju. Old Faithful when they need him. Is that Sky Moore? Is he going to be on the Chiefs this year? Sky Moore, is he going to make it through training camp? I don't know now. I know Royals is probably going to take that job. Royals, sticky hands, newer prospect, good tape from Utah State. Good tape. I was wondering why he fell in the draft because I was very high on him. I know a lot of other people were too. And it was not like it was a tough wide receiver class. I look at the counting stats. I go back looking at that and all the basic peripherals. I can see why teams just moved on away from him. But you deep dive this. This is a good prospect. This is a very good prospect for the Chiefs too. Because if you're looking for the next big thing, you're probably not going to find it with many wide receivers in this class. However, if you're looking for a guy in an offense like this that's explosive, that moves the ball, while you already got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, you got some other players there, and you can just insert them in, and has the potential to directly and develop quickly for your team. That's Royals. He was underdrafted. He's more talented than his draft slot. That's the thing about them. The Chiefs got him at a discount. Very sticky hands, good size to him. Can create separation. This is another weapon for Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs did it again. They're looking at Jalen Royals as their next big thing. That's what they're doing. Jalen Royals has immense upside in this offense. Well, not immense. Well, he does, actually. Because upside is pretty much the best of the best happening to you, and you take advantage of it. And if that happens, that means he's usurping the other wide receivers, which all the wide receivers getting a lot of reps in this offense due to Patrick Mahomes and due to how the nature of the offense is. Travis Kelce getting older. Anybody getting work in this offense has that. More than likely, we're a good role player with good spotty production. But for fantasy, what do you think that could lead to? Obviously, we got Worthy, we got Rashee Rice. So there's going to be a lot of competition for targets. We're a good wide receiver. We're not super expensive in dynasty due to draft capital, due to people seeing the competition on the roster. If we get to 3/4 of the way to that upside, we're on the field, we're running about 70-75% route participation rates. Target share, let's say we're 16 to 20%. ADOT, considering his frame. However, the Chiefs sometimes run a fast-paced, short throw offense with their wide receivers. He could be mixed into that. I could see volatility from him with some upside performances and some downside performances. And some of you guys might hate that for fantasy football, week-to-week lineup setting. but some of you guys that play daily fantasy football would love that as a cheap gamble. Some of you guys hurting off the waiver wire will probably love a wide receiver like that because you can put them in your lineup, close your eyes, and pray for the best in those tough matchups early on. If I'm hearing that and I'm a Chiefs fan, mainly that's due to the competition, but you got a hell of a talented wide receiver here that will climb the depth chart, that will give you something. Production-wise, Worthy's got that speed. He can create separation. We saw that at Texas. You saw that last year. He actually gelled well early in his career last year, so look for him to take flight. Rashee Rice is solid. He's a standout wide receiver when it comes to breaking off routes. When we're looking at Royals, you need to give him some grace year one. A lot of times, wide receivers have hard time acclimating to the system. They just do. So a lot of times, the younger wide receivers, they need an extra year. They need a little extra time to develop. A lot of times. And that might be due to the wide receivers. Xavier Worthy did not need a large amount of time. Rashee Rice looked okay during the rookie season. He was about to take off last year, guys. He was about to take off last year. He was one of the best players in camp, minicamp, training camp, OTAs. He was getting rave reports, always open. He was gelling well. He was about to take off, like more than what you thought from the trend lines. Like he was about to take off last year. Royals are going to be in the mix of that. Give him some time to develop. I give all rookies grace, though. Like, I'm very patient. The reason why is you don't want to cast off a player during their rookie season, and then all of a sudden, it could be during the rookie season, probably around Halloween time, that player takes off, starts carving out their role, starts getting trust from the coaches. Sometimes it's not even their fault. Sometimes coaches are slower with rookies. Sometimes there's competition on the roster. They still got the vets, but the contracts they see on them aren't for long. Or they added him because they fell in the draft. Now they got to work things out long term. And over time, he's getting more opportunity on the field. But you see it in camp. Camp is also, like, you look at the numbers. Like, the numbers also tell you what you're getting from a player, obviously, on the field. Also, what you're hearing in camp and the potential from camp, as long as it's not drastically overstated. That's why you got to watch these every day. Jalen Royals is a talent. He's a good talent. He fits well with this team, actually. You got Xavier Worthy, deep threat downfield. Rashee Rice, your separator. And I'm looking at the young wide receivers. Like, I'm not going to be talking about Sky Moore. I'm not going to be talking about those ancillary guys. But if you throw Royals in this mix, thick wide receiver, can body up at the catch point, twitched up enough to create some space, reliable hands, smart, sound wide receiver that needs some time to develop into the system like all young players. Worthy, from what I've been seeing, looks like he's coming into his own a little bit more. Looks like he's gelling a little bit more. Like, I'll just see a player and I'll just start dropping takes. Sky Moore was dropped in the best opportunity for him. And he's a small school prospect. G5 prospect, really. So not small school, but G5. And this was the best opportunity for him. Like, if he hit to his upside, or even 3/4 of the way, played well, got on the field, you're talking about a guy, like, just stacking seasons. Now we're wondering, where's he going to be at, if he is at all on the depth chart this year. Royals, different asset, has the potential to take that lunch. Has the potential for that. He's a good player. He's a good player. Not the fastest player, but you can definitely tell, like, just by watching these little clips, like, how they're going to be, like, man, you get him slant over the middle with those sticky hands that we saw at Utah State, it's going to be hard to get around him. Like, he's not overly big, but he's big enough to where you keep that little bit of twitchiness to it. You got a good blend of that. And with the hands, And face it, the odds of him being a top-tier wide receiver one was probably not in the cards for many NFL teams. But for him being in a mix of a good batch of wide receivers with a carousel effect and helping this team out is probably a great role for him. He's a good talent. He's a good talent. If I'm a Chiefs fan and I heard that, you got to understand the context of Xavier Worthy, which you got on the team with Rashee Rice and everybody else, spreading the ball around. I think that's the perfect fit. I think in the NFL, there's not many perfect fits for a guy like Royals. I think this is a great landing spot for him. And I think he's going to help out this team very well. I'm excited to see how he develops. I would not be surprised it takes a little bit of time for him. I wouldn't cast him aside. If you're looking at this for redraft, I'm looking at lottery ticket running backs more. I'll watch him off waivers. And if he starts running a 70% route participation rate, I might stash him and see what happens just in case. Or if one of the wide receivers go down, I might be looking at him a little harder. But I'm stacking and stashing a lot of lottery ticket running backs. A lot of lottery ticket running backs, especially from this year's rookie class. A lot of those late round rookies, rounds 4, 5, 6, 7, I will have, depending on the format, maybe 1, maybe 2, 3. My bench will have lottery tickets on it because I do not want gatekeeper players because they're getting you 9, 10, 11 points per game on average with low weeks. And honestly, they're not winning games for me. They're on my bench. I don't want to start them. I'd rather have a couple lottery tickets, and they're usually younger players because those are the players that usually exceed expectations on average. On average, I get there's older players that will do that. But we got a lot of them in this year's class at the running back position. We got a couple from last year's class that could do something if the injury bug bites the right players. So I will have a few running backs, and it'll be diversified from team to team. And I diversify my teams. I play it like a portfolio, like I'm running stocks. That's how I do it. Dynasty, he's at a good price. He's at a good price. Like if you're looking for a wide receiver that has talent, that's on a team that is cheap, and you're trying to build up that wide receiver depth chart, he's appropriately priced. I'm also looking at running backs there on the cheap though. So like I'll mix and match. Usually when it comes to drafts, I'll just lean into the strength of the draft and just hammer it home. But I will take the values at wide receiver or running back, the weaker position, when that player falls past ADP, because the strength of the class will do that too, because I'm not the only person in the world doing that, jumping at the bit to get the running backs. So when that happens, I'll just take the value. and just take it home with me. That's the thing about this. So I will get me some Royals. That's one of the wide receivers I will be looking at, and I have been looking at. He's a very good wide receiver. So if I'm a Chiefs fan, I heard that fantasy analysis, that's a good indicator that you got a good wide receiver on your team. Because I'm not the only one looking at him. I'm not the only one that got my ears perked up when we saw him go to the Chiefs. And he's got some talent. He flashed it on tape, sticky hands. This is a good player. This is a player with a lot of upside here. Upside in terms of if everything goes well, can really help this team have some production and maybe have his moment where he gets his limelight in the sun, where he has to step up and be the wide receiver one for a bit, and he just takes over. Maybe that happens due to injuries, attrition, or whatever, but he's a very talented guy. Downside is, let's talk downside. He's a 4th-round pick, day 3 guy. Not all those guys really pan out. Odds are stacked against him. You got a lot of competition in the offense. You can still be a good player, and the competition just pushes you down, and you got to fight years and years and years, and your route participation rate only goes up like a couple percentage points every year. That'd be the downside. Not the most twitched up wide receiver. That's where teams are looking at. They like the twitchy space wide receivers. However, you got this on the team, so it's not really, again, you already got it. You already got it with Xavier Worthy and some other assets here. So it gives you a different asset, a different look to where you can just have different clubs in your bag. but the talent's there. He can still create separation. He has strong hands. But that's not me harping or anything. That's me playing both sides of the fence, because I look at all these players and I love them. I love watching these players. I love watching camp highlights and talking ball with you guys. But I can also step back and look at that with almost every player that we're looking at. And Royals has a lot of talent here. He has a lot of potential to really climb this depth chart and become a good role player here, and maybe get you some good production if you're looking to make some money off that, fantasy betting or whatever. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.